Hello everyone, this is EB the Sponge Reviewer here, and I'm back with another SpongeBob SquarePants review, and today I'm here to review the new episode, Wary Gary and Pinned. So yeah, I just got done watching these episodes, and yeah, so I'm here to give you guys my reviews on them. So, in Wary Gary, in this episode, SpongeBob, has to take Gary to the vet, and, so basically, throughout the episode, we got SpongeBob trying various of ways to trick Gary into going to the vet, but of course Gary will refuse to go because he's not really much of a fan going to the vet. And I found this episode to be pretty decent. I wouldn't say it was anything special. Some of the moments of this episode that SpongeBob did to trick Gary into going to the vet is by leading a trail of snail food to his cage, and throughout the episode we got Gary attacking SpongeBob because he's trying to take him to the vet. And there's this really weird side plot of the episode where Patrick just shows up inside of his house just dillying around, and I really didn't find those moments to be all that interesting because it was just Patrick just roaming around his house while we got SpongeBob trying to take Gary to the vet. And when SpongeBob does end up taking Gary to the vet, all the veterinarian did was just gave him a lollipop and just checked his mouth, and that was really about it. And then when SpongeBob tries to leave the vet because the veterinarian sees that he had been attacked, she was going to give SpongeBob like this vaccine with this syringe, and so there was this big role reversal where Gary became the Wrangler, because in the episode SpongeBob became a Wrangler to go out of his way to take Gary to the vet. So Gary ended up becoming the Wrangler himself. So yeah, overall this episode was just all right. It wasn't anything too crazy in my opinion, but it wasn't anything offensive either. Now, Pinned. Now, this episode was rather interesting because in this episode, SpongeBob gets trapped underneath the weights of his indoor gym, and so he basically goes out of his way to send help so he can get unstuck from the weights. And this was a really interesting episode, trying to see, seeing SpongeBob going out of his way to get help from his weight, such as writing a letter in a bottle, and he ends up screwing that up when he accidentally knocks a Kelpo bottle out the window, and it lands into Squidward. And there was this really funny encounter in the episode with the police officers arriving to Squidward's house, and they basically avoid him. And this leads up to the episode's big climax, where it was like this surprise party, and so Patrick invites himself inside the house with all these pirates, and in order to get their attention, SpongeBob he basically stomps his foot onto the ground to get their attention, which ended up having the pirates sing the sea shanty. And then yeah, that was really interesting. And yeah, that's really all I have to say with this episode. This was a rather interesting one. And we also never mind. I was going to say something, but I don't really have anything else to add. But yeah, so that is my overall thoughts on Wary Gary and Pinned. I found Pinned to be the better episode in my opinion because it was more interesting. And oh yeah, there is one more thing I would like to talk about. There's this really funny moment in the episode where SpongeBob called Larry for help, and it turned out that he was trapped underneath his own weights in his gym, and I thought that was pretty funny. But yeah. So yeah, overall, those are my reviews on Wary Gary and Pinned. Next week's episode is going to be newer episodes. It's going to be, I'm not going to tell you what the episodes are because I already know what one of them is, but I kind of forgot what the other one is. But there is going to be new episodes coming out next Friday on the 28th, so I will be reviewing those. All right, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys next time with those reviews.